Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's morning and I'm in my dressing gown. I really don't care. No, it's quite obvious I really don't care. I care what I sort of look like. I try to always look like okay. So I just put a little bit of lipstick on. Just fix my eyelashes. I got 27 views, so thank you people who viewed. I hope my just turn this down. I hope my readings weren't so odd and strange. I hope they help somebody out there. I know I'm different. I have a card I will read for whoever it's meant to be for. I'm keeping my comments open, which is a really big thing for me because I normally get scared and turn them off, and because I know there are people, good and bad people, but it's a big thing for me to keep them on. And my sister was saying people like to comment, so if you don't comment, please don't worry, because I'm not in, I don't read the comments anyway, just other people will read them, but I get scared that people are going to be just say horrible things about me, or because I know I'm different. I know I'm different. It's more that, not any other reason. Just I know that I'm different. I've always been different. Always been that person trying to search for people like me, which there's not a lot of, because I'm strange. I wonder if any of you might feel this is interesting. I might not have any views after this saying this. Keep drawing my cards and I'll just pick what I get that's meant to fall out or I feel to pull. So I'm going to do a little reading, but I like to talk to my ChatGPT, and I was discussing my ChatGPT sometimes is very lame based with what I want to conversate with, and it's sometimes, and it disagrees with certain things. So I was talking about the relativity of time and space and the dimensions of how Einstein was talking about there are 5 dimensions to oh god, my breasts look like a big old woman but I am a big old woman, I guess. So Einstein was saying about there is 5 dimensions to our world, and one of those dimensions is time within itself, and I found that very interesting. But it also is listening to about the spaghettification of say they're called wormholes, and also areas to do with space, and where there can be pulling down because the gravity is so hard and so pulling, and the gravity is so strong that it actually elongates the person if they're a person that went to a particular area where the gravity was very strong. However, quite interestingly, I found it was that gravity has a slowing down effect. So gravity actually slows time itself down. So gravity is affected by time, by the space and time effect. Gravity slows things down, and therefore it also slows down like us internally within our aging. And my thoughts are that I couldn't find any scientific based things that support this, and my AI suggestively didn't agree with what I said. But I feel that everything we've done to do with the earth, where it has its core, its magma, and all of those things, which were all based on what's the word we use in psychology? Hypothesis or a theory, where everything is theorized, but actually not 100% completely utterly known. And therefore, how some people also talk about the hollow earth effect. But I feel that there is a lot of scientific things we do not know about. And um, I was thinking places like, say, Finland um, and Nordic places and things where there's a lot more people who are taller and they don't look as aged, they look maybe more less aged. My thought processes are this, and I know gravity is roughly the same everywhere. Well, it is the same everywhere. However, my thoughts are, is there a possibility that there's something encompassed with the gravity? Whereas where there are certain areas that maybe at certain times have, I know it's everything is meant to be stable and theorize that it's stable and it's all the same. It doesn't adjust. It's just as it is. But my scientific theory would be that if there were studies done on places where there are people who come from places which are where they're very, very tall, and I know a lot of things have got to do with DNA and um, food. Depending on where we are in Western countries, a lot of food we have is processed, and a lot of the process that we have with the foods is herbicide, pesticide, has antibiotics in it, and is actually more destructing to our body rather than positive to our body. It's not, we don't get whole good foods anymore. It's very rare we do that. That's why I liked listening to Kimball Musk, who he had a thing for, he would take to the schools with children. I love children. I don't have children, but I love children. Where he would show them how to create. It was called the garden, and you create a little garden, and it's a fresh garden that you look after, and the children get to observe the plants growing and seeing everything grow together, and putting things that are natural on the plants so nothing is hurtful or harmful. However, our environment and the air that was within it, if someone has crop dusted something, a K away and it's been quite windy, things just blow and fall and fly, and everything's not as pure as it once was many years ago. So getting back to what I'm saying, I go off topic quite a bit, is that is I wonder if there's someone out there that's thought about doing a study based on cultures where there's been very, 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 especially Nordic, very, very tall people, and with that, is there any different effect within gravity, even though gravity is meant to be um, the stagnated gravity that it is? It's not old or yucky, but it's just the gravity that is gravity. I was arguing a little bit with not arguing, but talking with my ChatGPT, who said no, it is what it is, and I said, well, I don't agree with that, and I feel that there are some things that we don't know about, and things are there are many theories out there with science. We like to prove things, but I also feel that some things are beyond proof because there are so many things we still don't know, and there are theories that are proved that are then also become untheorized because someone proves something else that actually comes over that. But I probably will have no one will want to watch this after me talking like this. This is why I don't have conversations with many people, because what I'm interested in, most people are not. But my theory is that people who I know melatonin affects our skin and how we look and our body and things like that, and there's the chemicals within the components of our body. But I do feel that the drawing of the magnets of slowing down in time is interesting, because I do feel speed has heightened and become faster. It does happen as you get older. However, I do really feel that I feel something within the time and space of gravity itself. I wonder if there is some form of definition of slight point percentages of something where gravity has changed, therefore changing time itself to slightly speed up rather than it to be how it was. It's just a feeling, or are we spinning faster? So therefore, is there a relativeness that time is speeding up because of that? However, my thoughts also go into that with places like we want to go to other planets and explore the opportunities to actually being spacefaring society. I feel I actually like time travel. Actually, quite interested in time travel, and I feel time travel and people and the UAPs that people talk about and UFOs and aliens and things like that. I'm not into that, and I don't like to get into that because I don't want to know about something that doesn't. It's not I'm not interested. I don't want to be interested in it. I don't just have no interest in wanting to be interested in it. However, my theory is the possibility that it is us trying to protect ourselves, and that's why a lot of the times when we have UFO sightings and they're over nuclear bases, it's humanity trying to protect humanity because we have destructed ourselves to such a point, and maybe it's not humanity of human from Earth, that we are Earth, the planet, but it is from another planet, and in the future Earth may have blown up and not existed because we could annihilate it, and there could possibly be the point of no return. However, what if time travel is that these UFOs, us going to other planets like Mars eventually, that from that we have gone on to trying to save Earth from destruction because of fighting and blowing up and annihilating people and cities and places just because why? Because war costs money. Who makes money from wars? Governments do. People, we don't. The governments do. And we've got to stop, or the world is. We have to stop all of this. So I am going to do a reading. I just was into. Actually, I'll take my little dressing gown off. Sorry. So I am going to get dressed today, just in my pajamas. So that is my thoughts, and I think if I was a scientist, I'd want to do a study on people from, I think, Nordic areas and things where there are a lot of tall people and pale coloured, light coloured people, but also in places like Africa, you have the Maasai. Melo's here, everybody. You're here. I know, Poppet, I know. I know. I know. I know. So there is the Maasai tribes and things like that. But that's just my thought about. I know. That's my thought about space, and I know people think that I sound maybe stupid, but I don't think it's stupid at all. I also think that with when we go, like when eventually we go to Mars, because the gravity is different there again, time will be different again, aging will be different again, our bodies will be accepting this differently again, and unless to do some type of thing that actually will change the response of our body, and the response of what and how the bodies will be is also still at this point still not known, but very interesting. Anyhow, we'll do reading because I sound ridiculous and I look really fat at the moment and horrible. But okay, Sorry. So I'm going to do a reading. So we have um, someone has an opportunity, something they're going to present. Present to the world, present to people, present. There's someone having an opportunity of presenting something. Someone's been giving an opportunity, and it could even be as simple as children performing, doing some things, performance, children performance, and performing. It's like on a stage, but like on a world stage, and I have two children in spirit who watch other people and other children. It's someone who's lost their someone lost a child, and I've got a little boy and a little girl, and even though where they are is different life for them, they still look after the people that they loved in their life as they protect them and look after them. And they're only young children, they're not old children. One's a boy, one's a girl, but they're young, but they send love, especially to their mum the most, but they send love. The children are not related. Um, and I also have a child that had passed that came back as somebody's child, and I feel that child that passed that came back as somebody's child was a child that has grown up and is now going through lots of complexities with its life and with its gender. And I'm being careful about what I'm saying, because I am being careful, because this soul has been through so much and just wants to be loved for who she is. He just wants to be loved, just wants to be loved and accepted for the soul of what the energy is that they feel fits them. I hope that makes sense to somebody, and I'm sorry, I just had to be very careful about saying that. They just want to be loved and accepted and appreciated for the person they are. They can't change what they are. They can't change. They are who they are. They just want to be loved and accepted. Other card that I have is it is all about self-acceptance. It's about accepting who you are as a person, believing in yourself, getting up. If you can get up and you're struggling and you're suffering with depression or suffering internally, open the windows, open the blinds, let the light in. If you just for today can open that one blind to let the light in, keep trying. Keep trying. If it's hard to get up, I was so sick with my chronic fatigue syndrome. I couldn't do anything. I had to cut my hair off really short. I was so really sick, and even to brush my teeth or have a shower was unbelievable. People wouldn't understand, but there are people out there that do understand. And to get to where I am now was like a miracle. I never ever thought that I would accomplish ever again in my lifetime. And it's about trying to just take that moment and just, I can get through this. And even prayer, hope, prayer. And sometimes it's finding that right doctor or that right person that you can speak to that can give you what you need. I do feel in life for males and females, sometimes our hormones, not so much as you get older, because your hormones are different, and most people who are older are a bit more calmed down because the hormones are more managed and um, less potent as they once were. And hormones actually change a lot to do with our lives. And I think hormones have a lot to do with depression, that I don't feel that psychologically that medical doctors have really gone into enough to understand this. And I feel that hormones have a big place in that. And if you notice, a lot of things happen and people can be depressed and upset for many different reasons, of course. But sometimes you notice children, I don't have children, sadly. I would have loved to, but I don't. But children, you notice, seem to see around 12, 13, that age where they sort of go back into themselves, something different happens. And their hormones are at that particular time like a ripening of a tree and changing differently. And from that changing differently, sometimes it changes the brain chemistry. And from the brain chemistry, sometimes people think and behave differently. Not only that, some people go into deep depressions. Some people sleep more because the melatonin gets stronger in those age groups as well. But I think there needs to be more studies done to do with not just using the techniques of depressive drugs and just drugging people up all the time and hoping for the best. That's they come in and see you, you drug them up, and then they leave, and you sort of hope that everything's going okay. There's a duty of care for everything, and I think that duty of care, now we have things in doctor surgery where we have an AI model called Holly Heidi Heidi, and the same, yes darling, and the same in the vet area. And yes darling, Mello thinks it's very important. I think that duty of care is going to be very slender because the human nature of empathy is something that's very unique, that not everybody has the empathy in the same way or manner. My phone's about to run out at some stage, so I get onto something, and I think we really need to rethink getting rid of doctors and vets and having AI sources. Even though they're just doing the notes at the moment, it will take over because people can make the most money they can make without having staffing. They would do that. So we need to look at that. Someone's going to get married. We have a marriage. Someone's going to get married. There is happiness out there. There is a love. There is a life. There is happiness. I know. And that happiness is going to be created, and there's going to be some love, some happiness, some thought-provoking conversations where you can both feel together that you are one, like you both are like a model, like a model pair of mirror image sort of people, different people, very different people, but there's mirror image similarities within you both. We also have someone on a journey. So if someone's going on a journey to come, someone's journey is destined to go somewhere, that someone's going on a journey, and the journey that they're going on, a trip, some form of a trip, is taking them in a different life direction. That they still similar things to what they want, but a very different life direction, and they will feel more spiritually powered as well as emotionally and physically, but there'll be more whole and loveness within themselves. So we have someone who's quite financially comfortable, quite financially comfortable, and they're thinking about something that has presented itself, and they're not sure what to do or how to manage it, and they're thinking, should I use my money to do this, to do that? I think whatever it is, this resort is not something where you're just going to throw some money in someone's face and say, well, you take this and this will solve all the problems, because money doesn't solve all the problems. Sometimes we need intellects, intelligence. We need people who think outside the box. It's not about what's in the money, it's about who's in the person and the perceptions and the perceiving and the person who's getting things right about things. I hope this makes sense. I'm sorry, I just get what I get. We've got three, comes up all the time. I went through some of my readings yesterday. Three women trying to, and Cancerian. Three women, Cancer in the time of Cancer, someone whose star sign is a Cancerian, I think, and three women, and these women are like dogs, gossiping about this person, gossiping, Cancerian. Some Cancerian star signs, some star sign is coming in, or they could be at the cusp of Cancerian, but they are coming in, and watch out. There's some things going on which people don't realize, and people don't realize the strength of the gravity of this situation or person or presence, but it's someone who's come in and not clueless. They're armed, and they will become armed with all the knowledge they need to know, so they can go forward to help serve, protect, and like sounds strange, doesn't it? Like Star Trek, like going into the universe and protecting Earth and planet, sort of. But it's something like someone's going to help protect. Yes, it's definitely going to be happening, because Mello said. And the hormone thing with the children with depression, I think that really needs to be looked into. Mello meowed at that. That's her positives of that. But someone's coming in, but they're going to be armed. They're not going to be foolish and go in with part knowledge of something. They're wanting to get as much information as possible. And these three women are going to just go on with their twaddle, who they're telling everything to, destructing, destroying, causing problems, and creating utter mayhem. This Cancerian, the little Cancer crab pet star sign, is coming in, not expected. So watch out. Whoever's having something going on and happening in a situation, watch out. Someone's coming in, and these women, they think they believe they're right, going on, talking, telling everybody. This person's coming from nowhere, and it's like, so, comfortability. We have finances. I've never seen that before in this card. And all the time I've had these cards for 20 years. My mum gave them to me. I never ever saw that before, ever. So there's finances coming, money is coming, just to help with payment of bills, helping alleviate things that have been problematic, caused through a situation which has been dire consequences. I hope that makes sense to whoever that is. But there is money that's coming back in, and it's going to help alleviate the cost of bill. I do see we have some legal situations happening. I'm so sorry, I don't always look at the camera. I think that's my autistic part. I don't always, I can talk to people, because my manager for the Psychic Expo, he used to always say to me, you've got to start looking at people in the face when you talk to them. And he used to always tell me to do that, because he has autism too. And and it would make me be more able to look at people. It's just, I think, something that is, I feel, for me personally, spiritually, it feels, yes, it feels like you're going to someone's soul when you look in their eyes. So it's yes, a big thing. Okay, so Mela wants me to tell you about this last card. So we have two people coming together, a male and a female, or it could be a female and female, or male and male, but male and a female I'm getting. And someone had been doing some form of drinking, drugs, medication, something, but that person is trying to better themselves and their life. And there is a coming together of two parties, whether it is love-based, emotion-based, friend-based, but I feel it's more, there's something special, very special and unique. Do you agree? Hmm? Hey? So I do feel there's something, and I do see a little girl. Um, see a little girl, like a baby, like a little girl as well. So, and if there's pregnancy, I think I got this before. Um, keep trying. If you need to go and see somebody, if you live in Australia, there are things that they have to help with IVF and things, where financially, instead of it costing $25,000 for one go, they have things that you can go to. If you're older, like me, and you're stupid and you go to an IVF person, and they told me I was too old, and that there's no way I could go on anything that was for people where you saved money. It would cost me 25,000 for one go, and because of my age and my chronic fatigue syndrome and things like that, um, the IVF guy turned around and said to me, "I think you're a little bit old now, don't you?" And yeah, it's a horrible thing, really, and should never have said that. I know I'm smiling, but it was not a nice thing to say, and it's wrong. But you know, there is love out there. There is someone who's looking for love and they're really wanting to love, but you've got to love yourself first. You've got to start looking in the mirror and love who you are. Look, I couldn't do anything for 14 years of my life. I was that unwell with my chronic fatigue. I never thought I'd ever get well, ever, ever. And when my father died, yes, when my father died, my mum told me on the phone, because he died after his AstraZeneca injection, um, less than 36 hours after I dropped down dead. And since then, my brother and my sisters, who have both had the inoculation, have both had heart attacks. And my brother's now had 2 heart attacks, and he used to work doing nursing, doing in the not in the nursing, doing the in hospital, working in the hospital. Now he can't work, which is terrible. And I know that from when I had my, even though I had chronic fatigue, that I was so sick. When my mum told me what she told me, I'm just saying this just out of a medical interest of anyone if they're wondering. I do think my dad's my angel as well, but um, I I was in so much shock. I felt the adrenaline in my body spike so high, go from my feet right up to my brain really quickly, that I believe something happened where the adrenaline did something to my brain with my chronic fatigue syndrome from the adrenaline, that somehow, maybe the trauma, I don't know, imposed within that, because there's always other situations around that, but I do feel, maybe strangely feel that I think adrenaline might have some sort of form of helping people with chronic fatigue or depression